Yeah.
Welcome, Jeremiah Loree.
So,
Jay Loree. Welcome. Welcome. As you know, my name is Jaden Gear, and this is the Night of Eyes interview. We are interviewing
Jay Loree.
How long have you been making music?
I started when I was 10. It was the summer before 6th grade. I wrote my first rap. It was fucking terrible. That's when I started.
Okay. How old were you when you realized that you wanted to do this? Like, was it just at the age of 10, or was it before?
No, when I was 12. That was like when I first had the idea, like, maybe I could actually do this. But like, it was still like in my head because I hadn't put anything out. No one had ever heard me, so I was like, I don't know, we'll see. But that's like when the idea first popped in that maybe this might be something like I'm gonna do.
All right. Who are your biggest inspirations?
Starting out, my first rapper that I was into was T.I., and then Eminem, Biggie, and then like through Eminem I found like D12, Obi Trice, Dre, 50, that whole camp, and then through Dre I started doing my research and then got into NWA and went back to all the old school groups, did my homework, found out like how hip hop started, and then I had this whole phase for like 3-4 years where I would only listen to old school. That's when like Drake and Wiz Khalifa first started coming up, and I was like hating on everybody. I'll never listen to new school shit, only old school. New school don't have any substance. And then just over time learned to appreciate all of it. So you just pull from everything.
What irks you most about this generation?
I don't know if this would apply to everybody, but like so many people just try to fit in, and I was exactly like that in high school. Like I spent all 4 years just trying to fit in with everybody because I was always like super weird, super awkward. And then I was kind of ironic because my job is to stand out. Like I go to performances or whatever, get on these lineups with 10, 20 other artists, and the only thing that's gonna make people notice me is me standing out from all the other artists. So I wish like I had realized how important that was earlier on versus like being scared of what people would think of me or whatever. So now it's just fuck it.
How long does it usually take for you to come up with an idea?
Depends. Some songs be a few minutes, some songs a few weeks to like a month where I write a verse and put it away, and then like a month or whatever later come back and like, oh shit, I forgot about this, and then I go finish it. But the most personal ones write themselves. Like when I write, I like just black out, and then when I come back to consciousness, the page is full.
When creating a new concept or idea, what's going through your head?
Depends. Is it like creating a concept for a song or like for a video or
for anything? Yeah.
Songs, like I said, the super personal ones, like the idea is already there because I'm not creating anything. I'm just pulling from memories of stuff that already happened. But if I'm trying to do a song where I'm like trying to rap from a perspective of someone else, then that idea will just come from stuff I see, stuff I do, stuff I hear, whatever. For videos, it's kind of, I'll have the song already like done, or at least written, so I can just listen to the song, see what kind of story fits well, and just watching a lot of other people, I get inspiration.
All right, I have a own personal question. Where did you get like the whole idea for like your album covers? Like my favorite album cover is the Rough Edges one with like the diamond. What like inspired you to make that?
That's a good question. I forgot how I came up with the name, but I already had the name Rough Edges, so I was going with the whole metaphor of like diamond in the rough or whatever. Yeah. Because I felt like I had so much potential, but I just wasn't realizing it because like I was going in this direction, super lyrical and like kind of a style that nobody's really touching at the time because like I said, everyone was more into the new school, like bass heavy, melody driven side music, and I was kind of going for something different, more lyrical, a lot more meaningful and emotional, like a lot darker music, but I just was having trouble like fine-tuning it and finding my sound, so that's where the Rough Edges came, where I have this diamond in the rough, I just need to figure out how to polish it.
All right, and what inspired you to make the album cover for Forever 27?
I read a book called Heavier Than Heaven. It's the biography of Kurt Cobain. I was super into like, I'm still is, like before hip-hop I was diehard like rock fan, punk and all that, and then through that I found grunge music and Nirvana, Kurt. I read that book and I was just so inspired. Like there's so many parallels between my life and his life, so it was cool to like hear music from someone who related to me so much, and then just reading the book, finding out about all these experiences, I'm like, oh shit, I went through the same thing. So then that's how I got into Kurt, and then I just went with the whole 27 Club thing, Kim, Jhené, all that. Just trying to make like timeless music, because they died super young, but the reason we're still playing them now is because their music is
great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't part of a trend or like a fad where it's gonna fade out in a year, few years. It's always gonna last. So that's my goal with music.
What makes you angry?
A lot of things. People not giving me credit for like what I've done and what I'm capable of doing. More so musically, but also, I mean, people tell me what to do. Like, I got in a lot of trouble over that last year, which I kind of need to stay out of. But you know, that goes for music and personal stuff. Like, people telling me, oh, you need to go in this direction, you need to go in that direction. I'm like, no, I got to where I'm at, and I've done what I've done because I stuck to my gut and my vision versus going with, oh, this guy who listens to music and thinks he knows
everything about you. Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's like, no, you need to make this kind of music. You need to make this song. It has to sound like this, and this is gonna fit perfect for you. Like, no, like I said, I've got where I'm at because I stuck to what I wanted to do.
What do you do when you have writer's block?
I had a shroom trip last year that like really helped me see things from another perspective. I have this one song about. It's called I Am, which is like it was kind of inspired by Kendrick Lamar, the I Love Myself record, which like self-acceptance was always
right? Yeah,
it was always something like I struggled with my whole life, and just always like hating myself and everything. And then on that shroom trip, I was just seeing all these like trees or whatever, having these like, it's hard to explain if you've never done it, but like
it's a different experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Whole different experience.
Like, it's so surreal. You see a tree and like everything has its energy. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it doesn't try to project its energy onto you. It's just there, and if you want to get into it and appreciate it more, then you can. If not, then like it doesn't care what it thinks of what you think of it. It's in its own existence.
I feel it.
So that's like kind of where that record came from. It's just called I Am. So like, this is the way I am, and if you fuck with it, awesome. Get behind and support the movement, support the vision. If not, like, it doesn't cost you anything. Like, just go listen to someone else. It's fine. So that's one example. Another thing is, one thing that I learned early on was like, you see interviews of artists, they're always like, oh, no sleep, we'll grind like 24/7, always in the studio, always working. But like, I tried doing that and I drained myself creatively to where it's the point where I'm like, fuck, I'm just kind of going through the motions, writing whatever rhymes, and I'm not giving my music that punch in terms of substance and authenticity that I usually do. So what helps me is I'll take breaks, whether it's from music as a whole or just writing, where I'll focus on getting better at mixing, mastering, focus on videos, focus on like playing live instruments or producing piano, guitar, whatever it might be, or then playing Assassin's Creed. Going to the gym, whatever, like sports in high school, not too much anymore. But yeah, just taking a break and like going out and like experiencing more shit, because the more you experience, more people you meet, the more you travel, it's just gonna keep inspiring. And that's one thing that was super tight about last year, was I finally started going out and traveling, doing shows in Oakland, in Loree, whatever, and like I get to see all these new places, new people, get to perform in front of all these new crowds with like people from all different walks of life, and that's definitely inspiring. So when I came back this year and I was working on 12 labors, like I had no problem with writer's block.
What was going through your head when you first opened for Joe Budden at one night?
That was the best night of my life, hands down. To have the whole crowd, like, win over the crowd and have them with their hands up and everything, that was super tight. I remember I had a moment, like, when we were going in for sound check, I like ran to the bathroom real quick, and then I was just looking at myself, I'm like, I can't fuck this up. Because I remember in high school I performed, I get stage fright, like, pretty bad. It got better the more I performed, but I remember at that show specifically, I was like, just so, like, obviously, one, out of respect other artists because Joe Budden is one of my favorite. And also just like being in that setting, New Parish, everyone's played there. From Wu-Tang to Jeezy, Kehlani or whatever, all these new artists. Like there's so much history on that stage. I'm like, I knew like, this is my chance, I can't fuck it up. So that stage fright just kind of faded away. And I was so driven to perform and put on a show. So I remember, I was just kind of got lost in that energy up on stage. It was like fucking, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but that was definitely one of those moments where I'm like, holy shit. I used to listen to this guy every day. And now I'm and winning the crowd over. Obviously, I get up on stage, skinny white guy in Oakland, all these people are like, who the fuck is this guy getting on stage?
You brought the energy.
Yeah, exactly. The first song, they were kind of like, okay. And then as I went through the verses, like, I had a few mess ups, but still, I saw the energy and just the tenacity where I was delivering my lyrics. And the shit, this guy he knows what he's doing. So then by the second song, it was a perfect beat. I had them all like, hands up, everything, vibing with it. I was like, I saw their faces go from to like, oh shit. And then at the end, I had them all like, do you have any more CDs? And the next opener came out. I was like, no diss to him. Like, there are people in the crowd coming up to me because I had jumped in the crowd after my set to just watch. They were like, yo, get back up on stage. One of the other guy. So that was super tight. And that was tight. Yeah. That was definitely like the next.
How do you feel your art will impact this generation, and what is your main goal?
Make music for people who need music. Like, because for me, honestly, if I didn't have music, I would not be here right now. Like, I would have swallowed a bunch of pills and jumped off the bridge or something. Like, and I know there's so many other kids out there who maybe they don't want to be a musician themselves, but they need something like music to help push them through because they don't have the support system that other kids might be. They might not be the most popular. They might not have the strongest family support. And that was, like I said, that was me. So I found music. I'm like, holy shit,